He begged every day, until one flower and one sentence changed his entire life. This is the story of how a beggar became a king, not by asking, but by giving. Welcome back to another mind-blowing and amazing video. Join me and stay with us till the end, as we dive into the story. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing videos like this. So let's dive in. There was once a poor beggar who lived at a bustling train station in a large city. Every day, he would walk between the platforms, hand outstretched, asking passengers for spare change to fill his stomach. One day, as he went about his routine, he noticed a tall man in a crisp suit stepping onto the platform. The man looked wealthy, polished shoes, briefcase in hand, confident steps. The beggar thought, "This man must be rich. If I asked him, he might give me something good." So, he hurried over and held out his hand. The tall man looked at him calmly and said, "You're always asking others for something, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was stunned. He replied softly, "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I live off the kindness of others. I don't have anything to give." The man shook his head and said, "If you can't give anything in return, you have no right to ask. I'm a businessman. I only believe in give and take. If you want something from me, you must have something to offer in return." And with that, the man boarded the train and disappeared into the distance. The beggar was left standing there, speechless. But those words, "If you can't give, you shouldn't ask," echoed in his heart. They stirred something deep inside him. Is this why people don't give me much? Because I offer nothing in return? But I'm a beggar. What do I even have to give? For 2 whole days he sat at the station, lost in thought. What could a beggar like him possibly offer? Then, on the 3rd day, something caught his eye. Beautiful flowers blooming on the bushes near the tracks. A sudden idea lit up his mind. What if I give people flowers in return for their kindness? He smiled for the first time in days. He plucked a few of those flowers and went back to the platform. This time, when someone gave him money, he handed them a small flower in return. The passengers were touched. Some smiled. Some kept the flower carefully in their bags, and some even gave him more money than before. Day after day, he continued. He picked fresh flowers every morning and exchanged them for alms. And soon, something magical began to happen. More people started giving. More people started smiling. More people started remembering him, the beggar who gave something back. Then, one afternoon, as he moved through the train cars, asking for alms with a bunch of flowers in his hand, he saw him, the same tall man in the suit, sitting by the window. The beggar rushed to him and said cheerfully, "Sir, today, I have something to give. If you'll give me something, I'd like to offer you these flowers in return." The man raised an eyebrow, intrigued. He reached into his wallet and gave the beggar a generous tip. The beggar, in turn, gently placed the flowers in his hand. The tall man smiled. "Wow, look at you. You've become a businessman, just like me." Those words hit the beggar like lightning. You've become a businessman. As the train pulled away, the beggar couldn't stop smiling. His eyes gleamed with newfound fire. He stepped off the train, looked up at the sky, and shouted with joy, "I'm not a beggar. I'm a businessman. I can become rich too." People at the station stared at him, confused. Has the beggar gone mad? They whispered. But from the next day on, he was never seen at the station again. 6 months passed. At the same train station, 2 well-dressed men in suits were traveling for business. One man looked at the other, then extended his hand and said, "Do you recognize me?" The second man looked puzzled. "I don't think so. I believe we're meeting for the first time." "No," the first man said with a smile. "This is actually our 3rd meeting." The second man raised an eyebrow. "Our 3rd? Yes. The first time, you refused to give me money. The second time, you bought some flowers from me. And now, here we are." Suddenly, the memory came rushing back to the second man. "Oh, you're that beggar!" The first man nodded proudly. "Yes, I was a beggar. But today, I run one of the largest flower businesses in the region, and I'm headed to another city to expand." The second man was stunned. The first man continued, "That day you told me about the rule of life, give and take. At first, I thought I had nothing to give. But when I started giving flowers, people weren't giving me alms anymore. They were buying my flowers. I just didn't realize it. In their eyes, I had already become a businessman, but in my own eyes, I was still a beggar. It wasn't until you said those words again, * you've become a businessman, * that something changed in me. I finally believed it. With the money I earned from those flowers, I bought more. And eventually, I started my own flower business. This city loves flowers. and their love helped me bloom." The two men laughed together, and as the train pulled into the station, they stepped off and walked on, talking not as strangers, but as two successful businessmen. The moral of the story: that tall businessman understood the simple but powerful law of life: give, and you shall receive. And when the beggar adopted this law, when he gave, even if it was just a flower, his entire life began to change. He didn't just change his actions, he changed his mindset, and that made all the difference. Success begins in your mind. If you see yourself as small, the world will see you the same, but if you dare to see yourself as great, you will grow beyond anything you ever imagine. So change your thoughts, respect yourself, believe in your worth, and watch how life starts giving you everything you deserve. And so, a single flower showed him the true power of giving, turning a beggar into a businessman, and a life of struggle into a story of hope. What will your flower be? What small act could change your life forever? If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Remember, success starts in the mind. Think big, give freely, and watch your life transform. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep giving, and keep growing. Subscribe for emotional life lessons and motivation. Which story should we tell next? Comment below.